Hello Raindrops, welcome to Government Minutes that Matter. This is Mr. A reminding you to take care of those big three right now. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel, and click on that notification bell so you know when our videos come out. As always, this video is dedicated to the glory of God who blessed this land. In the last lesson we talked about the 6 basic principles of the Constitution. And what I want to do is go over the one that's probably the most difficult to understand, which is checks and balances. Checks and balances, this was a system put into the Constitution, written into the Constitution, so that one branch of government has a way to stop the other two if one of those starts becoming or acting in a tyrannical fashion. Our founding fathers were scared to death of what? That's right, a strong central government. And so they built into the Constitution a way for one branch to stop or check or balance out the others. And so I'm going to give you some examples of these checks and balances. Obviously, this is an overview. If you want to look more into it, you can go online, check out checks and balances, or put in any one of these checks and balances that I give you so you can read more about it. Government is basically a survey course, a course which is designed, or a program designed to give you a broad general knowledge of our government. It's not to make you an expert at our government. Let's get everyone with a strong general knowledge first, and then we'll start working on or moving on to expertise. So checks and balances, ways for one branch to stop the others. We'll start with the legislative branch, our Congress, our House and Senate, the legislature. Their main focus is to make laws. So how can they stop or check the power of the other branches? For example, Congress or the legislative branch makes laws. Okay, the president can't make law. The president can't spend money. The president can't create agencies. Congress does that. So when NASA was formed, Congress created it. When the Department of Education was formed, Congress created it. So Congress makes laws, they create agencies, they're the ones who spend the money. All spending bills have to originate in the House of Representatives. That is to give the public the first chance they have to express their pleasure or displeasure with Congress, because the House is up for election every 2 years. We'll get to that later. So Congress spends the money, and Congress can impeach and remove a president. Some people think impeachment means the president is gone. We'll talk more about that later, but Congress can impeach and can remove a president from office. 3 presidents have been impeached. None have been removed from office. But that is one way Congress can stop the president or the executive if they start behaving tyrannically. How can the legislature or Congress stop the judicial branch? Congress creates courts, all the federal courts that are lower than the Supreme Court. Congress can impeach and remove federal judges. And the Senate approves or rejects presidential appointments to the federal bench. Presidents nominate a man or woman to become a judge on a federal court, and the Senate of the United States has to approve or reject that nominee. So that is how Congress, a few of the ways Congress can stop the other 2 branches. How can the executive branch, how can the presidency or the president stop the legislative branch? The president can veto bills. Congress can pass a bill, the House, the Senate, they pass it, send it to the president, and he vetoes it. He says, no, I don't like it, it's not a good idea. Yes, Congress can override that with a 2/3 vote in each house, but that's hard to do. So the president can veto bills. The president can call special sessions of Congress. If Congress is adjourned for the year and the president feels like there's an emergency that needs to be dealt with, he can call Congress back into session, and by law they must come back. And finally, the president, probably the biggest weapon he or she has, is what Teddy Roosevelt called the bully pulpit. In other words, appealing directly to the American people. Today, the president gets so much attention that it's easy for him to be a cheerleader for or work against something going on, okay, or get Congress to do something. So that's probably the biggest weapon the president has. How can the president stop or actually influence the judicial branch? Well, the president appoints Supreme Court justices and all other federal judges. It's very important to understand this. The president is there for maybe 8 years. His judges, Supreme Court and otherwise, get lifetime appointments. So a president may put, on the Supreme Court 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices who will be there 40 years after the president leaves office. And so the president can really influence the courts through judicial appointments. And finally, how does the judicial branch stop the legislative branch? How does the Supreme Court and other federal courts stop Congress? They can declare acts of Congress to be unconstitutional. In other words, they don't apply because they're outside the Constitution. The Constitution does not provide for government or Congress to do that. And so if Congress passes a law that is later found to be unconstitutional, the law never existed. And how can the judicial branch stop the executive branch? Well, it goes both ways. The president appoints judges, and they're appointed for life. So they're free from executive control. Once they get the judge, the Senate approves them. Once they get their seat on the bench, and the Senate approves them, they do not have to vote in a way that the person who appointed them would approve of. So they are free from executive control. And also the judicial branch can declare executive actions to be unconstitutional as well. So there you have it, a brief overview of checks and balances, proving again our founding fathers scared to death of a strong central government. And so they built into the system a way for each branch to stop the others. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you paid attention because there will be a test at the next election. This is Mr. A reminding you that we, the people, are the government. We'll see you next time.